We've got a new neighbor, and we met her, and the first thing she said she needed was some help on her pasture. That's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and find and press that like button. Thanks very much. You know, moving's one of those incredibly stressful times in life. And maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's even more stressful when you're living in the country. There's a lot more things to move. Often there's a lot more to prepare at your new destination. And if you're moving from more of a suburban area, there's a lot more equipment and tools to buy. Lots of change that has to be wrapped up into a very short time period. We can't relieve all that stress for our new neighbors, but we can help with some of it. So we'll step up and do our part on this acre or two, maybe 2.5 acres of pasture, at least for the next month or so of this growing season. Then maybe next spring they can take it over from there. Well, as I drive around the edges here, I see that there might be some other areas we can help out on even into the next year. This brush around these fence rows can probably be trimmed back a little bit. I think we have just the tools for the job, but we'll not worry about that today. She wants to put horses in here, and she's pretty sure, at least according to her, she can't have this red clover growing in here with her horses, or at least she doesn't want it growing in here. So we're going to try to kill all the broadleafs, including the red clover. So it's just grass for her. She says that red clover causes the horses to have a lot more saliva, so they drool all the time. I have no idea. If you do, leave us a comment. We're using Crossbow. There's a generic called Crossroads. Same thing, and that's what we're going to apply here. And I really don't know if we're applying enough to get this red clover, but we'll see how it goes. If it's not enough, we'll hit it again. We mowed this property with Vinny and the flail mower just a few weeks ago, and I mean it's really grown back fast. So there must be some fertilizer have been applied on this pasture here at some point under the prior owner. We'll come back in here and mow this in just a few days after the chemicals had a chance to work. I think this is a pretty little area back here, a small field. They plan to use it as a pasture, as I said. If it were mine, I'd probably try to be a pretend farmer and plant it in corn. There's an area there between Christy and I that looked like it was a brush pile, but I was able to mow it all with Vinny and the flail last time, so I'm not sure why it was left, but it was grown up over our heads. MistRspray pretty luxurious for somebody like me. We've got independent boom controls, got remote pressure adjustment right here. Yeah, this is pretty high class. Oh, yeah, and I have the foam marker. Now, I need to have the drops on the foam marker so that the foam comes out closer to the ground, but I broke those up. Yeah, I need to get some more short hoses and the right fittings and put that back on, but I broke them off by hitting the ground with the ends of the boom. Now, one thing this remote pressure gauge allows me to do a little better is that when I turn the switches on, in other words, when it's spraying, the pressure goes down. I want to be able to know what the pressure is when I'm spraying because that's how these tips are calibrated. They have a certain gallons per acre depending on the pressure that's applied to them. Well, I need to be able to adjust that pressure or at least see that pressure while I'm spraying, right? Because if I try to make the pressure adjustments while I'm just sitting still, then it's going to be much lower than like it's dropping about 15 psi. So it's pretty important that I see that. This box, it was sponsored a year and a half or more ago, a long time ago, but from Texas Industrial Rim Corps. and I haven't heard from them in a long time, so it's not like I really have a strong ongoing partnership, but their product does work great. Lots of clover in here. It was pretty tough mowing for binning, I would say. We've had really good growing weather in between, so it hasn't been very long ago, actually, that we mowed it, but it looks like it's been all summer. Really don't know how big of an area this is, but probably 2 acres, maybe 2.5. I've mixed up extra chemicals because I intend to spray my yard when I'm finished with this. 2 birds, 1 stone.
This little circle of brush here has what I would call a hole in the middle of it. I don't know if someone dug out a little area to try to store some drinking water for animals. I really don't know what that's all about. If I get a chance, I'm going to try to trim that brush down around it anyway and see what the owner wants to do with that hole. It doesn't have any water in it now, so I suspect it's not lined well enough to hold water, but who knows what's going on there.
Well, that's a wrap. This is easy. It's fascinating how having the right tools makes such a huge difference. You know, you can do this with a $150 sprayer from a local box store, right? Even the pull type one. It's not crazy expensive, but this is just so much nicer, and I'm glad I got it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law.